God paired us with narcissists, and we agreed to this in the spirit before coming to earth. But I didn't realize how much of our lives are really coordinated and orchestrated by God. I mean, I thought that we had more free will, and of course we can choose to follow God or not. But I didn't realize how much of our life is directly controlled by God. And yes, we do have to agree, but like our parents, our upbringing, every obstacle and problem that we face, every blessing, every single thing in our lives is allowed by God. And the relationship with the narcissist also is allowed by God, and it's a good thing. And what was very shocking to me is that justice is going to occur on earth before we get to heaven, before we go to hell. That karma, as some call it, is actually going to play out here in the physical reality. And maybe it's just because this is like the end of the age, but I never expected for people to get their rewards and their punishments while they were still alive. I always assumed that that was reserved for after death. My gosh, everything is coordinated, and it seems like all the different timelines are playing out simultaneously so that they can be adjusted and changed, but I don't know this occurred before. It seems like it didn't, because there were stories about people being tortured and slaves, and it's like they never got their justice. But in 2024, we're going to get our justice, so maybe this is like an exception for the end of the age. And heaven comes down to earth. So then divine justice and recompense has to happen now. But the narcissists actually, as awful as they are actually good for us. And if we've had many lives on earth, we've accumulated sins, and we've done things to other people, we've hurt other people, and yes, Sarah! Be right back. Sarah, down. Down. No. Yeah. We've sinned against other people and treated them wrong. We've harmed other people. And so, by being with the narcissist, it allows us to suffer and make up for some of our previous sins, so we can have the best possible reward as heaven comes down to earth. We can have like a clean slate. And yes, we do. I'm sorry, they always do this. It doesn't matter when I record the video. We can always repent and change our ways. But we actually suffer and get abused to the point where there is no karmic debt left. And it resets everything. So I think that the records or books of our lives are called the Akashic records. And there are libraries in heaven where there are different books. And for example, one just lists your sins. So if you've repented, you've asked for forgiveness, then that would be wiped clean and it would not be in your book of sins. But there's also just a book of your entire life, and it would still be in there. So in order to earn some of the best rewards, then it might be important to balance out the karma, or so it's called. Like, if you've lied to somebody, then someone lies to you, and it kind of negates that, especially if you end up forgiving them. It's not just that they lied to you and you didn't even know. When you find out how you handle it with grace and you actually forgive them, or you just don't want anything bad to happen to them. It's how you handle the situation. So I think that it makes us worthy of living in this new heavenly realm, which is now on earth. And I know this is kind of counter to a lot of what's taught in Christian theology, but I do believe that that is wrong. There have been lies taught in the churches, there have been lies taught in mosques, and there have been lies taught by the rabbis as well. Now, not all of them, but they basically teach certain things that are not scriptural, but it's based on consensus. And one of these is the belief that it doesn't matter how you live your life, and that it's only that you believe in Jesus that you go to heaven. But that is not what Jesus taught. If you read the red letters, if you read the red text in the Bible, it's kind of the opposite of what Jesus taught. So we would need to visit the sick, and we would need to give to the poor, and just do what we could. It's not like if you're unable to do something, there's something else you can do. Like, say, if you don't have any money to give, then you can give your time, or you can help in another way. Say you don't have transportation, that's fine, but like, maybe you're polite and kind to everybody, and you'd stop and listen. So there are things that we can do to help others. And to say that this doesn't matter, it doesn't matter how you behave and how you act, is completely asinine. It's ass backwards. And so the chosen ones at the end of the age, we go through like obstacle courses, and like we go through so many trials and challenges. What's funny is that they're really quite silly if you think about it, and God has our back, but they basically just train us how God is in control of everything, and they teach us how to be calm and to be respectable but polite, and how to handle ourselves. So we really are honed, and like, we're not perfect, but I'm saying is that after going through this process, then we just treat others well. We're caring, we're generous, we're giving of what we have. It doesn't have to be money. Wealth can be in more ways than one, but we know that it's important to behave ourselves, and if something bad happens, that you keep a level head and you think about it and you pray. You don't just try to go and get revenge. These are important things, and it's necessary for God's prophets and for the chosen ones to reach this state, and hopefully other people will obtain this as well. But God is totally in control of every aspect of our lives, and it seems that like 99% of people have their demons, or they actually are walk-ins. There's only a small amount of people that don't appear to have possessions. And it could be that they're just kept out of our reach, but I did meet a man the other day who seemed like he was a good person. And several months back I met a couple people that did not appear to be oppressed or possessed. They are so far and few between. And then maybe some people are like NPCs. The male woman, she looks really sweet and nice and kind, but like, she looked at me kind of strangely when I first moved in. Like, she was happy that I was there, and she was kind of like wanting to see what I would do. Like, she was kind of watching me, but seemed like cheerful and nice and like a good person. So I wonder if she's watching me. Maybe she's an angel or something. But this is the same for all of us here. So much of this is controlled. If we're in like a Truman Show or something, yeah, so much of our life is controlled, and certain things I hope people don't see, like in the privacy of my home, would be embarrassing, and same for everyone. There are certain things we don't want others to see, and hopefully there can be like a censored bar placed over us at certain times in our life so that there's not a huge audience watching us. But it very well could be the case that there's like a big a universal television show of our lives being played out for all the otherworldly beings to watch, all the angels to watch. And some very humiliating and embarrassing things that we do might be on that show. But yeah, every single aspect of our lives is controlled, and it's like nothing is for no reason. Like, there's a rhyme and a reason to every single thing that happens. Like, every song that plays, every marker that we pass, there are no coincidences. And it would be like wasteful to just have things randomly occur without a purpose. So everything has a purpose. Humans had a purpose, which was to farm. And, to prepare the land, to till the land. All the animals have their own purpose. All the insects have their own purpose. And we're all being washed, and as things get thrown out of whack intentionally, I would say we know. God knows what's going to happen in advance. It makes for entertainment, but no, it's just not for entertainment. There is a reason. And yes, we do try to preserve and take good care of things, but with no effort at all, God could completely restore, heal, and fix every single thing. So why do we go through this test? Well, just look at the angels that did not appreciate heaven. They did not appreciate these perfect, beautiful bodies that God gave them and all the enjoyment and fulfillment in their lives. They took it for granted because they didn't know what it was like to not have it. And then here as humans, that problem has been solved because we're born into a world that is both good and bad. And we go with periods of lack, so we truly do appreciate when we have. And then we actually earn certain things. We earn rewards. And not that anyone cares about a crown, but you earn what you get. And everyone will know, and no one will be jealous, because it was all our own free will, and we made choices. We chose to go through certain sufferings, and to restrain ourselves, not go for that quick satisfaction, in order to earn blessings, long suffering. So, but being with the narcissist really prepared us, and we were honed through the fire, and it wiped out our karmic debt, and we were also able to grow and evolve and learn how to treat people well for all these years. While we were with the narcissist, we weren't hurting other humans. We were demons, and they were trying to hurt us, which we didn't even know a lot of this. So they did hurt us, but not as much as they had hoped. So they did help us by clearing out karmic debt. And yes, they did hurt us and break our hearts, so that we're going to be overjoyed to be around other believers, and to be with people that are evenly yoked, to be with people that treat us the way that we treat them. So instead of taking things like family and children and parents for granted, we're going to truly appreciate them. So I do kind of think that God has the souls of our parents and our estranged children and everyone. Is holding them and keeping them. And at the end of this, we'll be reunited. I truly hope. But it takes a long time to really evolve into the best version of yourself, where you truly will treat other people as good as you possibly can. And the chosen ones are held to the highest standard. So when you're 17 or 18, you get into the relationship with the narcissist, and they hook you in, you have children with them, and then you're stuck with them for a long time. You just learn how to treat them well and to respect them, because they are hypercritical of everything. They look for any single flaw that you have. They point it out, magnify it, and they make sure to tell you 1,000,000 times over. So you actually work on this and fix it most of the time. So by the time you're done with the narcissist, you're actually a pretty good person. So it's not that you don't have any issues left, but after being with a whiny, complaining narc for so long, to try to make them happy, you actually have learned how to treat them so well that this is like boot camp. And then God releases the life extension technologies and healing technologies to where we live for 1,000 years, and eventually we will live forever. There's a transition period between the earth as we know it and heaven being fully established on earth, and all those that have already died being brought back to life. So yeah, we have to be worthy of ruling and reigning in the millennial kingdom, and that takes a lot of training. And the narcissists were the tool that God used, and I know that this was planned out. I was raised with narcs, and then pushed into the hands of a narc. And of course, pharmaceutical drugs are always involved. But when I look at how everything was coordinated and scripted, and when I thought about possibly not doing something, I had to get to this point in life, like an angel literally sat down in front of me and commanded me. But that only happened once, and that was because even though I felt that I should do something, then I was going to put that aside to do what I thought was best for the family. But that's not what God had in plan for me. So an angel sat down and set me straight, and I realized that everything in my life has been controlled and orchestrated by God. And the angels are like bumpers, like just to make sure that I stay in my lane, and they do the same for you. We do have free will. I had to accept this mission. You have to accept this mission. We had to accept this. So we get to a certain point where we can decide to continue with this journey and this path or not, and to live a normal life. And once I accepted this mission, I understood what happened to the narcissist. The human soul left, and more dangerous demons came. Well, I don't know if they're dangerous. God controls it. What I'm saying is that the human soul left at that point, like Jinn and the serpent possibly was there, but a shadow being came into the body, so there was a new personality that took over. And this did affect other people in my life. It affected my children. It affected my father, who was possibly human at some point before. So I think for this reason, God is keeping their souls. I think God is keeping them safe, and they will be released at the end of this. So the narcissist did help us, and every single thing. Like, if you go to the thrift store, that is basically a part of your life plan. It's already written in a book, and we're just playing it out at this point. So totally insane. Well, I guess I could continue ranting for another hour, but I think this is good. Thanks for listening, guys. God bless you.